Hello, friends. If you're curious about the movie Waist Deep, 2006, you're in the perfect place. Don't forget to give this video a quick like, it really helps us out. And if you're new here, hit subscribe to stay updated on all the latest movie deep dives. Let's jump right in. In the heart of Los Angeles, a city brimming with dreams, danger, and desperation, Waist Deep, 2006, tells the story of a man trying to break free from his past, only to find himself pulled back into a world he desperately wants to leave behind. A gritty, action-packed thriller with a pulse that keeps racing until the very end, this film fuses streetwise drama with high-stakes action, drawing you in with every twist and turn. Directed by Vondie Curtis Hall, Waist Deep takes us on a high-octane journey through the underworld of crime, betrayal, and redemption, following a protagonist who has more than one fight on his hands. Starring Tyrese Gibson, Meagan, and the late great Larenz Tate, the film showcases not only a compelling narrative but also powerful performances that keep the audience on the edge of their seats. The movie opens with an exhilarating burst of tension, setting the stage for a high-risk heist that turns into a much bigger nightmare. It's a sharp dive into the life of a man caught between his past mistakes and his hope for a better future. This isn't just another heist movie. It's a story about family, survival, and the things we are willing to sacrifice when everything is on the line. Tyrese Gibson plays Otto "O2" Chandler, a man who seems to be on the path to redemption. He's been out of the game, trying to live a quieter life after his criminal past. But when his son is kidnapped by ruthless gangsters, all of Otto's hopes of a peaceful future are shattered in an instant. Otto's quest to save his son is what drives the story forward, leading him into a dangerous web of criminal activity, deception, and heart-pounding action. But before we dive deeper into Otto's world, let's set the scene a bit. From the very first moments of the film, Waist Deep grips you with its raw energy. It doesn't take long to realize that this isn't just another crime film with a typical storyline. There's a sense of urgency that permeates every scene, as Otto finds himself thrust back into a world he thought he had escaped. The opening sequence is an adrenaline-pumping ride through a heist gone wrong, with Otto's past catching up to him in the worst possible way. The movie's pacing is sharp, never slowing down for long enough to let you breathe. Every moment is charged with tension, whether it's a confrontation between gangsters, a pulse-pounding car chase, or a quiet but emotionally charged conversation between Otto and his love interest, Carmen, played by Meagan. Speaking of Carmen, she is a pivotal character in Otto's life. She represents the possibility of a different future, one outside the chaos. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that she, too, is drawn into the drama and danger of Otto's world, making her role in the story just as crucial as his own. At the heart of the film, though, is Otto's determination to rescue his son, Dion, who has been taken by the sadistic and unpredictable gang leader, the Man, played by Larenz Tate. What follows is a thrilling game of cat and mouse, where Otto must navigate a series of increasingly dangerous situations to find his son and bring him home safely. Along the way, Otto faces not only external threats but also his own inner demons, questioning whether he can truly escape his past or if it will always be a part of him. One of the most exciting elements of Waist Deep is its unpredictable twists. At first glance, the plot may seem like a straightforward action movie. Rescue the kidnapped child, take down the bad guys, and save the day. But this film constantly keeps you guessing. Just when you think you've figured out what's coming next, the story throws in a curveball that completely changes the stakes. There are moments that will have you questioning everyone's motives, and just when you think Otto is making progress, another setback brings him right back to square one. This is especially true when it comes to the relationship between Otto and the Man. At first, the Man appears to be the clear antagonist, ruthless, dangerous, and with a cruel streak that runs deep. But as the film progresses, you realize that there's more to the Man than meets the eye. His motivations are layered, and there's a certain unpredictability to his character that keeps you on your toes. The power dynamic between him and Otto shifts throughout the film, especially as they engage in a tense and dangerous game, both knowing that the stakes could not be higher. The film's other major twist revolves around the character of Carmen. While she initially appears to be a supportive love interest, we quickly learn that she has her own complicated history and motivations. Without giving too much away, it's safe to say that her character's actions will surprise you, leaving you questioning who can really be trusted in a world filled with lies and betrayal. Perhaps the most powerful element of the film, though, is the emotional depth that underpins it all. As much as Waist Deep is about high-speed chases and intense shootouts, it's ultimately a story about family and the lengths we will go to for the ones we love. Otto's journey is one of sacrifice and redemption, as he finds himself faced with impossible choices and heartbreaking consequences. His character's evolution throughout the film is both believable and poignant, as he struggles with the weight of his decisions and the reality of the situation he's in. The pacing of the movie doesn't just serve the action, it also allows us to connect with Otto on a deeper level. There are quiet moments in the film where we see his vulnerability, as he reflects on his past and contemplates the future he hopes to build. These moments of introspection are balanced by the high-stakes tension of the film, creating a narrative that feels grounded even in the midst of the chaos. Now, let's talk about the ending. If you've seen Waist Deep, you know that the conclusion is far from predictable. Without spoiling too much, let's just say that Otto's journey doesn't end with a simple rescue. The final moments of the film pack a punch, leaving the audience with a mix of emotions: satisfaction, surprise, and a lingering sense of the cost of Otto's decisions. The resolution is as much about Otto coming to terms with his past as it is about his relationship with his son. It's a bittersweet ending that underscores the film's themes of redemption, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond between parent and child. The film's cinematography, directed by Vondie Curtis Hall and shot by Robert McLaughlin, deserves special mention as well. The gritty, street-level shots capture the tension and danger of the urban environment, creating a sense of realism that heightens the stakes of every scene. The car chases, in particular, are shot with such intensity that you feel the rush of adrenaline right alongside the characters. The city of Los Angeles itself becomes a character in the film, with its chaotic streets and towering buildings adding to the sense of urgency and danger.
And let's not forget about the soundtrack, which is perfectly attuned to the film's tone. The music shifts between heart-pounding beats during the action scenes and more emotional, reflective tones during the quieter moments. The soundtrack serves as a powerful tool to enhance the viewer's experience, amplifying the film's intensity and its emotional core. What makes Waist Deep stand out from other action thrillers is the way it blends high-octane action with real, human emotion. It's not just a film about a man trying to save his son. It's a film about redemption, the consequences of past actions, and the cost of doing whatever it takes to protect your loved ones. Otto's journey is one that will resonate with anyone who's ever faced a tough decision, made a mistake, or fought to build a better life. As we wrap up, it's clear that Waist Deep is more than just a run-of-the-mill action film. It's a story with heart, a story that explores the complexities of human relationships and the lengths we will go to for those we care about. With a mix of unpredictable twists, intense action, and emotional depth, Waist Deep keeps you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. So, if you haven't seen it yet, don't miss out. Trust me, this is one movie that will leave you thinking long after the credits roll. And if you've already seen it, then you know exactly what I mean. It's a thrilling ride with a heart at its core, and I can't wait to dive even deeper into its intricacies in future videos. The story begins with an uneasy sense of calm. Otto Chandler, a man determined to leave behind a life of crime, is trying to build something better for himself and his young son, Junior. Having served his time and paid dearly for his past mistakes, Otto seems to be keeping his head low, staying out of trouble. It's clear from the get-go that he's a man who doesn't want to go back to that life. He just wants to be a father, to give his son a stable future. But as life often goes for someone with a complicated past, trouble finds him anyway. Otto is on his way to pick up Junior from school when the first domino falls. The scene is set beautifully, the bright Los Angeles sun casting long shadows over the gritty streets. The father-son reunion feels heartfelt and intimate. Junior is the light in Otto's life, and the bond between them is immediately clear. You can sense Otto's hope for a better future in the way he talks to his son. It's a fleeting moment of peace, one that's all too short-lived. Not long after, things take a sharp and unexpected turn. O2 parks his car briefly to run an errand, leaving Junior in the back seat. What should be an ordinary moment turns into chaos when a carjacker seizes the opportunity, stealing O2's car with Junior still inside. The panic in O2's eyes is palpable. The pace quickens as he chases the car on foot, yelling after it with a desperation that cuts straight to the core. This is the first major turning point, and it doesn't let up. O2's world unravels in an instant, and his instincts kick in. He knows he doesn't have the luxury of waiting for the police. This is personal, and it's urgent. His criminal past may be behind him, but the skills and knowledge he picked up along the way are now his only tools to save his son. It's a moment of reckoning, where his two lives collide violently. The tension escalates as O2 begins a search for Junior. His desperation leads him to Carmen, a sharp and resourceful woman played by Meagan. She's street-smart and tough, someone who knows how to navigate the dangerous world that O2 is stepping back into. Their meeting is electric, a mix of cautious trust and shared determination. Carmen quickly becomes an ally, though she's not exactly the kind of person you'd expect O2 to team up with. Carmen's introduction brings a new layer to the story. She's not just a sidekick. She's someone with her own struggles and motivations. At first, she's hesitant to get involved. Why risk her own safety for a man she barely knows? But there's something about O2's resolve, his unwavering focus on saving his son, that strikes a chord with her. Before long, she's in the thick of it with him, using her street smarts and connections to help him track down Junior. The trail leads them into the dark underbelly of Los Angeles, a world of ruthless criminals and dangerous alliances. As O2 and Carmen dig deeper, they discover that Junior's kidnapping wasn't random. It's tied to O2's past. The carjacker wasn't just looking for a quick score. This was deliberate, targeted. Someone wants something from O2, and they're using his son as leverage. One of the film's standout moments comes when O2 confronts a gang member known as Lucky, who might have information about Junior's whereabouts. The confrontation is intense, filled with the kind of raw energy that keeps you on the edge of your seat. O2's desperation is matched only by his determination, and he doesn't hesitate to use force when necessary. Lucky gives him a lead, but it's a dangerous one, pointing O2 toward the powerful and sadistic gang leader known only as the Man. As O2 gets closer to the truth, the stakes continue to rise. The Man, played with chilling menace by Larenz Tate, is not someone to be trifled with. He's a figure of power and fear, controlling his domain with ruthless efficiency. The scenes leading up to O2's confrontation with the Man are some of the most gripping in the film. There's a sense of dread that builds with each step O2 takes, each decision he makes. You can feel the weight of his choices, the knowledge that every second counts, and that one wrong move could cost him everything. Meanwhile, the dynamic between O2 and Carmen evolves. What starts as a reluctant partnership grows into something more, a bond forged in the fires of their shared struggle. Carmen proves to be more than capable, stepping up in ways that surprise even O2. She's not just helping him, she's fighting alongside him, risking her own life to save Junior. Their chemistry is undeniable, adding a layer of emotional depth to the story. The action intensifies as O2 and Carmen close in on Junior's location. The film does an excellent job of balancing the adrenaline-pumping sequences with moments of quiet tension. There's a scene where O2 and Carmen take a brief pause, regrouping in a dimly lit hideout. It's a rare moment of vulnerability, where O2 opens up about his fears and his regrets. Carmen listens, her tough exterior softening just enough to show that she understands. It's a beautifully human moment, a reminder of what's at stake. But there's no time to dwell on emotions for long. The clock is ticking, and the Man is playing his own game, taunting O2 at every turn. The closer O2 gets to rescuing Junior, the more dangerous the situation becomes. The Man is holding all the cards, or so it seems, and he's not afraid to make O2 suffer. The tension reaches a boiling point in a high-stakes sequence that takes place in a crowded nightclub. The setting is chaotic, filled with flashing lights and pounding music, a stark contrast to the life-or-death stakes of the moment. O2 and Carmen navigate the crowd, trying to stay unnoticed as they close in on their target. The cinematography in this scene is brilliant, capturing the disorienting mix of urgency and danger. Just as they think they've made progress, another twist throws everything into chaos. O2's determination is tested like never before, and Carmen proves once again that she's not just along for the ride, she's all in. The partnership between them deepens, built on mutual respect and a shared goal. As the scene comes to a close, it's clear that the journey is far from over. The twists keep coming, each one raising the stakes and pushing O2 closer to his breaking point. The first half of Waist Deep is a masterclass in tension and pacing, drawing you into a story that feels as unpredictable as it is emotionally charged. You're not just watching a father fight to save his son, you're living every moment of his struggle, feeling every setback, and rooting for him with every step he takes. Stay tuned, because things are about to get even more intense. With every step forward, O2 feels the pressure mounting. The race to save Junior is no longer just about bringing his son home. It's about survival, redemption, and navigating a world where trust is fleeting and betrayal feels inevitable. Carmen stands by his side, her role evolving into something deeper, something more vital to O2's mission. What began as an uneasy alliance has become a partnership forged in fire, both of them fully aware that failure is not an option. The tension escalates as O2 and Carmen narrow down Junior's location. The clues have led them to one of the man's heavily guarded safe houses, a fortress-like compound buried in the chaos of Los Angeles. It's clear that this isn't just about getting Junior back, it's about sending a message. The man has orchestrated the entire ordeal to remind O2 of the power he holds and to drag him back into the life he's so desperately trying to escape. As they prepare to infiltrate the safe house, O2 and Carmen devise a risky plan. Carmen, with her sharp instincts and street-savvy demeanor, takes on a critical role in creating a diversion while O2 sneaks inside. The plan is daring and dangerous, filled with the kind of stakes that make you hold your breath. Every move they make feels like it could be their last, the tension amplified by the uncertainty of what lies ahead. Inside the safe house, O2 moves with calculated precision, his every step fueled by the thought of his son. The scene is a masterclass in suspense, the dim lighting and eerie silence broken only by the occasional sound of footsteps or muffled voices. The closer he gets to finding Junior, the more palpable the danger becomes. And then, just as it seems he's about to reach his goal, a twist changes everything. Junior isn't there. The realization hits O2 like a gut punch, his frustration and desperation boiling over. The safe house was a trap, a cruel game orchestrated by the man to toy with O2. It's a devastating setback, one that leaves O2 questioning everything, his plan, his allies, even his ability to save his son. But Carmen refuses to let him spiral into despair. She pushes him to stay focused, to keep fighting. Their bond deepens in this moment, a shared determination that transcends their initial motivations. Carmen's strength becomes a lifeline for O2, a reminder that he's not in this fight alone. With a safe house behind them, O2 and Carmen regroup and reevaluate their strategy. They realize that the man isn't just playing games. He's trying to force O2 into a corner, to make him desperate enough to return to his old ways. And in a world where alliances are fleeting and danger lurks around every corner, O2 knows that his next move has to be his best. The turning point comes when O2 decides to take the fight directly to the man. It's a bold and dangerous move, one that requires him to tap into the skills he's tried so hard to leave behind. With Carmen by his side, he gathers what little resources they have and prepares for a final showdown. The build-up to the climax is nothing short of intense. O2 and Carmen embark on a high-stakes mission that takes them through the heart of Los Angeles, navigating a cityscape that feels both familiar and hostile. The cinematography shines in these moments, capturing the gritty, raw energy of the streets and the looming sense of danger. When O2 finally comes face-to-face with the man, the confrontation is explosive. The tension between them, simmering throughout the film, erupts into a clash that feels both personal and symbolic. The man represents everything O2 is trying to leave behind: the violence, the chaos, the life of crime that nearly destroyed him. But in this moment, O2 is fighting not just for himself, but for his son, for a future free from the shadows of his past. The fight is brutal, raw, and unrelenting, a visceral reminder of the stakes at hand. O2's determination is matched only by the man's ruthlessness, and the outcome feels uncertain until the very end. But O2's love for his son gives him an edge, a strength that the man can't match. In the midst of the chaos, Carmen proves once again that she's not just a bystander. She plays a crucial role in the final confrontation, her quick thinking and bravery turning the tide in O2's favor. It's a moment that cements her place in the story as more than just a supporting character. She's a partner, an equal, someone who's just as invested in the fight as O2. The climax reaches its peak when O2 finally overpowers the man, rescuing Junior in a heart-pounding sequence that feels like a triumphant release of all the tension that's been building throughout the film. The reunion between father and son is emotional and cathartic, a reminder of what O2 has been fighting for all along, but the story doesn't end there. The aftermath of the confrontation brings its own set of challenges as O2, Carmen, and Junior navigate the fallout of their actions. The man's empire may be crumbling, but the cost of their victory is steep. O2 knows that the road ahead won't be easy, that there are still battles to be fought and obstacles to overcome. The film's final moments are a bittersweet blend of hope and uncertainty. O2 and Carmen, now bound by their shared journey, look toward the future with cautious optimism. Junior, safe and sound, is a reminder of what they've gained and what they stand to lose if they're not careful. It's a poignant conclusion to a story that's as much about redemption and resilience as it is about action and suspense. Waist Deep doesn't just leave you on the edge of your seat. It leaves you thinking, feeling, and rooting for its characters long after the credits roll. It's a story about the power of love, the strength of the human spirit, and the lengths we'll go to for the people we care about most. Stay tuned, because this movie has so much more to unpack in our next video. O2, Carmen, Junior, and the man. Each of these characters drives Waist Deep forward, not just through their actions but through the layers of personality, backstory, and motivation that make them feel real and unforgettable. At the heart of the film is the raw humanity of these individuals, and through their struggles, choices, and connections, they turn an intense action story into something deeply personal.
O2 is the center of it all, a man torn between his past and his future. From the moment we meet him, his internal struggle is palpable. Here is someone who's been hardened by life, shaped by the harsh realities of crime and survival, but who's desperately clinging to the hope of something better. The nickname O2 itself, a nod to oxygen, symbolizes life and survival, two things he's fighting for every step of the way. His love for his son, Junior, becomes the force that drives him forward, pushing him to face dangers he'd otherwise avoid and make choices that threaten to pull him back into the darkness. O2 isn't a clean-cut hero. He's flawed, raw, and real. His criminal past is always in the background, shaping how he navigates the world and reminding us that redemption isn't straightforward. The beauty of his character lies in his contradictions, his willingness to use violence when necessary, but only when it serves the higher purpose of protecting Junior. Every punch, every calculated decision, is layered with emotion, with the unspoken weight of a man who knows what's at stake. And then there's Carmen, who bursts into the story as a force of her own. Meagan Good's portrayal of Carmen adds a fire and complexity that balance O2's grit with a touch of wit and charisma. Carmen is street-smart and unapologetic, someone who knows how to survive in a world where survival isn't guaranteed. But beneath her tough exterior lies a vulnerability, one that reveals itself in moments of quiet reflection and connection with O2. Carmen's evolution over the course of the story is one of the most compelling aspects of the film. When we first meet her, she's reluctant to get involved, wary of the risks that come with aligning herself with someone like O2. But as the story progresses, her motivations shift. She sees in O2 a man who's willing to go to the ends of the earth for his son, and that determination sparks something in her. Carmen becomes more than just an ally, she becomes a partner, someone who's just as invested in the mission as O2 is. Her quick thinking and resourcefulness often steal the spotlight, and she proves time and again that she's more than capable of holding her own. Carmen isn't just there to support O2, she's there to challenge him, to push him to be better, and to remind him that he's not alone in this fight. Their relationship grows organically, built on mutual respect and trust, and by the end of the film, it's clear that Carmen is as much a part of O2's future as Junior is. Junior, though young and mostly a passive character, is the emotional anchor of the story. Everything O2 does, every risk he takes, is for his son. Junior represents innocence and hope, the possibility of a better life that O2 is fighting for. Through Junior, we see a softer side of O2, a side that's fiercely protective and deeply loving. The moments between father and son, though brief, are some of the most powerful in the film, reminding us of what's truly at stake. And then there's the man, the antagonist whose presence looms large over the story. Played with chilling menace by Larenz Tate, the man is the embodiment of the life O2 is trying to escape. He's ruthless, calculating, and unrelenting, a figure who thrives on control and fear. The man doesn't just want to win, he wants to break O2, to prove that no one can truly escape the world they came from. What makes the man such a compelling villain is the personal nature of his conflict with O2. This isn't just about power or revenge, it's about identity. The man sees O2's attempts at redemption as a challenge, a rejection of the life they both came from. In many ways, the man is a dark reflection of O2, a reminder of what he could become if he gives in to the forces pulling him back. But the man is more than just a one-dimensional villain. His actions, though cruel and unforgivable, are rooted in a twisted logic. He's a product of the same environment that shaped O2, and while O2 chose to fight against it, the man embraced it. This contrast adds depth to their conflict, making it as much a battle of ideologies as it is a physical showdown. The relationships between these characters form the heart of the story, each interaction layered with tension, emotion, and stakes. O2's bond with Junior is the driving force behind his every action, a constant reminder of why he's fighting. His partnership with Carmen evolves into something deeper, a connection forged in the heat of battle and solidified by mutual trust. And his conflict with the man is a clash of past and future, a fight for survival that's as personal as it gets. What makes these characters so memorable is their humanity. They're not perfect, they're flawed, complex, and deeply relatable. O2's determination, Carmen's resilience, Junior's innocence, and the man's ruthlessness all feel grounded in a reality that makes the stakes feel real. You don't just watch these characters. You root for them, fear for them, and feel their pain and triumphs as if they were your own. By the end of the film, the characters leave an indelible mark, their journeys resonating long after the credits roll. They remind us of the lengths we'll go to for the people we love, the strength it takes to fight for redemption, and the power of human connection in the face of overwhelming odds. It's this depth of character that elevates Waist Deep beyond a simple action story, turning it into a tale that's as gripping as it is unforgettable. Waist Deep, 2006, is a gritty, high-stakes action drama that captured the intensity of a father's desperate mission to save his son. But beyond the gripping narrative and memorable characters, the film has its own set of strange, fascinating, and little-known facts that make its production and legacy even more intriguing. These stories add layers of intrigue and charm to the movie, showcasing the unpredictable world of filmmaking and the creative energy that went into making Waist Deep what it is. Let's start with an unusual piece of trivia. The movie was almost entirely different in tone and style. Initially conceived as a smaller-budget indie drama, Waist Deep was pitched as more of a character-driven story with fewer action sequences. However, the studio envisioned a broader appeal, leaning heavily into its action thriller elements. This creative tug-of-war behind the scenes added a dynamic push and pull between the original artistic vision and the studio's commercial aspirations. What emerged was a blend of character depth and adrenaline-pumping action, a compromise that gave the film its unique voice, the film's atmosphere, but working in such a bustling urban environment wasn't always smooth sailing. One of the strangest challenges the crew faced involved shooting in neighborhoods with active gang activity. While the filmmakers worked hard to gain the trust and cooperation of local communities, there were moments when real-life tensions bubbled to the surface. To ensure the safety of the cast and crew, off-duty police officers and local community leaders were brought in to mediate and keep the peace. Remarkably, some locals ended up being extras in the film, adding an extra layer of authenticity to the gritty street scenes. Speaking of authenticity, Tyrese Gibson, who plays O2, immersed himself deeply in his role as a former convict trying to redeem himself. One of the strangest yet fascinating methods Tyrese used to prepare was spending time with real ex-convicts, listening to their stories and studying their mannerisms. Another behind-the-scenes quirk involved Meagan, who portrayed Carmen. Meagan's role required her to drive high speed in some of the film's most intense car chase scenes. While many productions rely on stunt drivers for such sequences, Meagan insisted on performing as much of the driving as possible herself. She took crash courses in precision driving, practicing how to handle tight corners and maintain control at high speeds. There's a great story about how, during one of the rehearsal runs, she narrowly avoided hitting a camera rig by mere inches, earning applause from the crew for her quick reflexes. That moment cemented her reputation as someone willing to push boundaries to make the character feel authentic. The car chases themselves had their own share of challenges. The filmmakers opted to use real cars rather than relying heavily on CGI, which meant that every crash, spin-out, and explosion had to be choreographed meticulously. One of the strangest accidents during filming occurred when a car meant to skid to a stop veered off course and hit a light pole, cutting power to part of the block. No one was injured, but the incident delayed filming for hours as the crew scrambled to repair the damage and reset the scene. The dedication to practical effects, though risky, paid off in the form of visceral, heart-pounding sequences that still hold up today. One of the most fascinating behind-the-scenes decisions involved the portrayal of the Man, the movie's menacing antagonist played by Larenz Tate. Originally, the Man was supposed to be a physically imposing figure, almost caricature-like in his villainy. But Larenz's casting changed the character completely. Larenz brought a nuanced, almost chilling calmness to the role, transforming the Man from a stereotypical brute into a layered, psychological threat. In interviews, Larenz shared that he drew inspiration from historical figures known for their manipulative and controlling nature, which added a deeper, more unsettling edge to the Man's presence. Another strange and unexpected twist in the production came during the writing process. The original script had a much darker ending, one that left the fate of O2 and Junior ambiguous. However, early test screenings revealed that audiences felt unsatisfied and even upset by the bleak tone. The filmmakers were faced with a dilemma: stick to their artistic guns or rework the ending to give the story a more hopeful conclusion. Ultimately, they opted for the latter, and the final version of the movie ends with a sense of closure and redemption. This decision divided the creative team, with some believing the original ending was truer to the story's themes, while others felt the revised ending made the film more accessible. The soundtrack of Waist Deep is another fascinating element, with its blend of hip-hop, R&B, and urban beats serving as a crucial part of the film's identity. What's interesting is how much thought went into curating the music to reflect not just the mood of the scenes but also the cultural backdrop of Los Angeles. One lesser-known fact is that Tyrese himself contributed ideas for the soundtrack, suggesting tracks that he felt would resonate with the story's emotional beats. His involvement added a personal touch, ensuring the music felt authentic to the world the characters inhabited. On a lighter note, the chemistry between Tyrese and Meagan wasn't just acting, it was the result of genuine camaraderie off-screen. The two spent hours between takes joking around and sharing stories, building a rapport that translated seamlessly into their on-screen partnership. One of the funniest stories from the set involves an impromptu dance-off between takes, with Tyrese and Meagan hilariously trying to outdo each other. While the footage never made it into the movie, it became a favorite memory for the cast and crew, reflecting the sense of fun and connection behind the scenes. Another unusual detail about the production involves Junior, played by Henry Hunter Hall. Despite being young, Henry took his role seriously, often asking the director for advice on how to make his performance more believable. One day on set, Henry surprised everyone by delivering an emotional line with such raw intensity that the entire crew broke into applause. It was a reminder of the immense talent this young actor brought to the film, even in the face of such heavy subject matter. Finally, there's the strange but true fact that Waist Deep almost didn't happen. The film faced numerous hurdles during pre-production, including budget constraints and skepticism from studio executives. At one point, there was talk of shelving the project entirely. But the passion of the cast and crew, combined with the unwavering belief in the story's potential, kept the project alive. That resilience mirrors the themes of the film itself, a determination to overcome obstacles and fight for what matters most. In the end, these behind-the-scenes stories add a fascinating layer to Waist Deep. They reveal the challenges, quirks, and triumphs that went into making the film and highlight the dedication of everyone involved. From Tyrese's commitment to authenticity to Meagan's high-speed driving adventures, these moments remind us that the magic of filmmaking often lies in the unexpected. And as we revisit Waist Deep, knowing these strange and compelling facts only deepens our appreciation for this unforgettable story. The story of Waist Deep is built on a foundation of action, drama, and heart, but what elevates the movie beyond a standard action thriller is the way its key events resonate on a thematic and emotional level. Viewed through a critical lens, the film's significant moments reveal layers of meaning that reflect on survival, redemption, family, and the enduring fight against systemic struggles. It's in these carefully crafted events that the movie carves out its identity, leaving a lasting impact on its audience. The movie wastes no time in throwing O2, its protagonist, into a whirlwind of chaos. The carjacking sequence is one of the most gripping early moments, setting the stage for everything that follows. At first glance, it's an adrenaline-pumping, high-stakes action scene. But look closer, and you'll see how it encapsulates the central conflict of the film. The loss of Junior isn't just about the physical danger. It's a symbolic loss of hope, innocence, and the fragile sense of stability O2 is trying to build. This event places O2 at a crossroads. He must decide whether to risk everything by diving back into the life he's trying to escape or surrender to the forces threatening to consume him. It's a moment of choice, and it defines the rest of the film. Critically speaking, this scene also highlights the systemic undertones of the story. O2's vulnerability in that moment isn't just his own. It's reflective of a larger narrative about how the environment around him is fraught with danger, especially for people trying to rise above difficult circumstances. The carjacking isn't just a plot device. It's a statement about the precariousness of survival in a world shaped by poverty, violence, and the constant threat of losing what little you have. For O2, this moment forces him to step back into the world he's been trying to leave, and it becomes a test of his resolve to fight for his son and his future. Carmen's introduction into the story is another pivotal moment that deserves critical examination. On the surface, she's a reluctant ally, drawn into O2's orbit by circumstance. But her presence in the story is far more significant than just being a supporting character. Carmen represents resilience, resourcefulness, and the ability to adapt. Her initial skepticism about helping O2 mirrors the audience's own doubts about whether he can succeed. But as she becomes more involved in his mission, her arc transforms into a powerful commentary on trust and solidarity. Take, for example, the moment when Carmen decides to actively help O2 by using her connections to navigate the dangerous criminal underworld. This isn't just a turning point for her character. It's a critical shift in the story's dynamic. Carmen's decision to trust O2 and take risks for him reflects a larger theme of finding strength in partnership. In a world where isolation can feel like a survival mechanism, Carmen shows that collaboration and trust can be just as powerful. From a critical perspective, this moment underscores the idea that even in the harshest circumstances, human connection can create pathways to redemption and survival. One of the most heart-wrenching sequences in the film is when Junior is shown in captivity, a pawn in a brutal game orchestrated by the man. The visuals in these scenes are stark and unforgiving, emphasizing Junior's vulnerability. But from a thematic standpoint, These moments highlight the emotional stakes of the story. Junior isn't just a child in danger. He represents everything O2 is fighting for. His innocence, his potential, and his future are all on the line, and the weight of that responsibility is what propels O2 forward. Critically, these moments also challenge the audience to confront uncomfortable truths about generational cycles of struggle. Junior's captivity isn't just about the immediate danger. It's a symbolic representation of how the system traps the next generation, often before they even have a chance to escape. This undercurrent of systemic critique runs through the film, giving its emotional beats a deeper resonance. O2's fight for Junior isn't just a personal battle. It's a fight against a world that seems designed to take everything away. The climactic showdown with the man is another key event that demands a deeper look. On the surface, it's the kind of intense, action-packed finale you'd expect from a movie like this. But the true impact of this moment lies in its psychological and thematic layers. The man isn't just a villain. He's a representation of everything O2 is trying to leave behind. Their conflict is more than physical. It's ideological. The man thrives on control, fear, and power, while O2 is driven by love, hope, and the desire for freedom. Their final confrontation is as much a battle of values as it is a fight for survival. Critically, the man's defeat isn't just about O2 winning. It's about proving that redemption is possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The moment O2 overcomes the man, he's not just saving Junior. He's reclaiming his own humanity. This resolution is powerful because it shows that while the fight for a better life is brutal and unforgiving, it's not impossible. The movie doesn't sugarcoat the challenges, but it offers a glimmer of hope, a reminder that love and determination can triumph, even in the darkest circumstances. The film's conclusion, where O2 and Junior are finally reunited, is both emotionally satisfying and thematically rich. This moment brings the story full circle, offering a sense of closure that feels earned. But from a critical perspective, it also leaves room for reflection. The ending isn't a perfect happily ever after. It's bittersweet. O2 and Junior have escaped immediate danger, but the challenges of building a new life still loom large. This nuanced resolution adds depth to the film's emotional impact, reminding the audience that the fight for redemption is ongoing. Another critical aspect of the movie lies in its thematic resonance. Waist Deep is, at its core, a story about survival and love, but it's also a commentary on systemic inequities and the cycles of violence and poverty that trap so many people. The film doesn't shy away from these realities, but it also doesn't dwell on hopelessness. Instead, it focuses on the power of individual choices, the strength of human connection, and the resilience of the human spirit. These themes elevate the story, giving it a universal appeal that resonates long after the credits roll. The emotional resonance of the film is amplified by its refusal to simplify its characters or their struggles. O2, Carmen, Junior, and even the man are all products of their environment, shaped by forces beyond their control. But the movie doesn't use this as an excuse. It uses it as a lens through which to explore the complexity of their choices. O2's fight for his son, Carmen's decision to risk everything for someone she barely knows, and even the man's relentless pursuit of power all stem from deeply human motivations. This complexity adds layers to the story, making it more than just an action thriller. It's a meditation on what it means to fight for a better life ultimately. The events of Waist Deep come together to create a film that is as impactful as it is entertaining. Through its action, drama, and emotional depth, the movie explores themes that resonate on both a personal and societal level. It's a story about love, sacrifice, and the enduring hope for redemption, told through characters and moments that leave an indelible mark. For those willing to look beyond the surface, Waist Deep offers a powerful commentary on survival and humanity, making it a film that's worth revisiting time and time again. The making of Waist Deep, 2006, was a journey filled with passion, determination, and plenty of unexpected surprises. Behind the intense action, emotional drama, and gritty visuals was a crew of filmmakers and actors working tirelessly to bring this story to life. While the finished product stands as a testament to their efforts, the process of creating it was just as compelling. packed with challenges, triumphs, and some genuinely amusing moments. The production of Waist Deep offers a fascinating glimpse into the unpredictable world of filmmaking. One of the most notable aspects of the film was its gritty, authentic depiction of Los Angeles. The production team was determined to capture the city's raw energy, especially in the neighborhoods that often go unnoticed in mainstream media. This meant shooting in real, often hectic urban locations rather than relying on studio sets. While this approach added to the film's authenticity, it also came with its share of challenges. Shooting in bustling neighborhoods required coordination with local authorities and the cooperation of residents. At times, the crew faced unexpected interruptions, from curious onlookers trying to catch a glimpse of Tyrese Gibson to background noise that couldn't always be controlled. However, these challenges only added to the film's realism, as the environment became an integral part of the story. One of the standout elements of Waist Deep is its high-octane car chases, which were a logistical feat to pull off. Rather than relying heavily on CGI, the filmmakers opted for practical effects, using real cars and meticulously choreographed stunts. This decision added a visceral, grounded feel to the action sequences, but it also required precision and careful planning. The crew worked closely with experienced stunt drivers to ensure the safety of everyone involved while still delivering jaw-dropping scenes. One particularly memorable moment occurred during the filming of a chase sequence when a car slid slightly off its planned trajectory and grazed a camera rig. While no one was hurt, the incident underscored the inherent risks of practical stunts and the incredible skill of the drivers and crew in pulling them off. Tyrese Gibson, who played the film's lead, O2, was deeply committed to his role and took his preparation seriously. Known for his natural charisma and strong presence, Tyrese wanted to ensure that O2 felt like a fully realized character. To achieve this, he spent time researching the challenges faced by ex-convicts trying to reintegrate into society. Tyrese even met with individuals who had experienced similar struggles, listening to their stories and drawing inspiration from their resilience. This dedication paid off in his performance, as he brought a depth and vulnerability to O2 that elevated the character beyond the typical action hero archetype. Meanwhile, Meagan, who played Carmen, was just as dedicated to her role. Known for her versatility as an actress, Meagan embraced the opportunity to portray a character who was both tough and empathetic. One of the more amusing anecdotes from the set involves Meagan learning to perform some of her own driving stunts. Determined to make Carmen's scenes as realistic as possible, she underwent crash courses in precision driving. Despite her initial nerves, Meagan quickly adapted, impressing the crew with her skills behind the wheel. In fact, one day during filming, she pulled off a perfect handbrake turn during a rehearsal, earning cheers from the crew and proving that she was every bit as daring as her character. Behind the scenes, the camaraderie among the cast and crew was palpable. Tyrese and Meagan developed a genuine bond during filming, which translated seamlessly into their on-screen chemistry. Between takes, the two could often be found joking around and exchanging stories, creating a relaxed and supportive atmosphere on set. One particularly funny story involves an impromptu dance-off between Tyrese and Meagan during a break in filming. Though the footage never made it into the movie, the memory became a favorite among the crew, highlighting the lighter side of the production process. The role of Junior, played by Henry Hunter Hall, brought its own set of unique challenges and heartwarming moments. As one of the youngest members of the cast, Henry displayed a level of professionalism and talent that impressed everyone on set. Despite the heavy subject matter of the film, Henry maintained a sense of enthusiasm and curiosity, often asking the director for advice on how to improve his performance. In one particularly moving scene, Henry's emotional delivery brought several crew members to tears, showcasing the depth of his talent at such a young age. Director Vondie Hall brought a clear vision to the project, balancing the film's intense action with its emotional core. Known for his work as both an actor and director, Vondie was deeply involved in every aspect of the film's creation, from its script to its cinematography. One of his guiding principles was to ensure that the story felt authentic, with characters and settings that reflected real-life struggles and triumphs. To achieve this, he worked closely with the cast, encouraging them to bring their own insights and experiences to their roles. This collaborative approach not only enriched the film but also created a sense of trust and respect among the team. The production wasn't without its lighter moments, though. One particularly amusing incident occurred when a prop malfunctioned during a dramatic scene. The moment was supposed to be tense, with O2 confronting a group of criminals, but instead, a faulty smoke machine went off at the wrong time, filling the set with an absurdly thick cloud of smoke. The cast and crew couldn't help but burst into laughter, and while it delayed filming, it became one of the more memorable bloopers from the shoot. Another interesting fact about Waist Deep is its soundtrack, which played a crucial role in setting the tone of the film. The music, a blend of hip-hop, R&B, and urban beats, was carefully curated to reflect the story's emotional and cultural depth. Tyrese himself contributed ideas for the soundtrack, suggesting tracks that resonated with the film's themes of love, struggle, and redemption. The result was a soundtrack that not only complemented the movie but also stood out on its own, adding an extra layer of emotional resonance to the story. The character of the man, played by Larenz Tate, was another highlight of the production. Originally envisioned as a more traditional villain, the man underwent significant changes after Larenz was cast. Larenz brought a subtle, psychological edge to the character, transforming him into a more complex and unsettling antagonist. During filming, Larenz often stayed in character between takes, immersing himself in the man's chilling mindset. His dedication added a layer of intensity to the role, making the man a memorable and formidable presence in the film. One lesser-known fact about the movie is that its ending went through several iterations before the final version was chosen. The original script featured a much darker conclusion, leaving the fate of O2 and Junior ambiguous. However, test audiences found the ending too bleak, prompting the filmmakers to rework it. The revised ending, while still bittersweet, offered a sense of closure and hope, aligning more closely with the film's themes of redemption and resilience. The challenges of making Waist Deep extended beyond the set as well. Budget constraints required the filmmakers to get creative, finding ways to make the most of their resources without compromising the quality of the film. From repurposing locations to maximizing the impact of practical effects, the crew's ingenuity played a key role in bringing the story to life. This resourcefulness became a point of pride for everyone involved, as it demonstrated their ability to overcome obstacles and deliver a film that felt bigger than its budget. In the end, the production of Waist Deep was a testament to the power of collaboration, creativity, and perseverance. The cast and crew poured their hearts into the project, overcoming challenges and finding moments of joy and connection along the way. Their dedication shines through in the finished film, which continues to resonate with audiences for its blend of action, emotion, and authenticity. The behind-the-scenes stories and fun facts only add to the film's legacy, reminding us that the journey of making a movie is often just as compelling as the story it tells on screen. The world of Waist Deep unfolds in the gritty, sun-drenched streets of Los Angeles, where every location pulses with a story of its own. The setting is more than just a backdrop, it's a character in its own right, shaping the lives of those who inhabit it and heightening the intensity of the narrative. From the sprawling city streets to the shadowy alleys, the film captures the raw energy of urban life, creating a stage where survival, loyalty, and redemption collide. The filmmakers used the setting not only to ground the story in authenticity, but also to amplify its emotional and thematic resonance. Los Angeles is often portrayed in film as a city of glamour and ambition, but Waist Deep takes a different approach, focusing on the underbelly of the city where survival often feels like a daily battle. The neighborhoods depicted in the movie are far removed from the glitz of Hollywood. Instead, they're places teeming with life, chaos, and danger, environments that reflect the struggles of the film's characters. The choice to shoot in real urban locations added a layer of authenticity that couldn't have been achieved on a soundstage. The streets are alive with movement, noise, and unpredictability, pulling the audience into O2's world and immersing them in the stakes of his journey. One of the standout locations in the film is the carjacking scene, which takes place on a busy Los Angeles street. The chaos and unpredictability of this setting mirror the sudden upheaval in O2's life. Cars honk, pedestrians scatter, and the camera captures the frenzied energy of the moment. The choice to use a real bustling street rather than a controlled set amplifies the tension, making the viewer feel as though they're right there, caught in the whirlwind of events. The setting isn't just a backdrop, it's an active participant in the scene, amplifying its urgency and danger. As O2's journey unfolds, the film takes us through a variety of settings, each chosen to reflect different aspects of the story. The dimly lit backrooms where deals are struck and alliances are tested carry a sense of foreboding, their shadowy interiors hinting at the secrets and betrayals lurking within. The abandoned warehouses and empty lots where confrontations play out evoke a sense of desolation, emphasizing the isolation and vulnerability of the characters. Even the cramped apartments and modest homes carry weight, serving as reminders of the modest dreams and fragile stability that O2 and others in his world are fighting to protect. The visual storytelling in Waist Deep is masterfully executed, with cinematography that enhances the film's tone and mood. The use of handheld cameras during action sequences lends a sense of immediacy, making the viewer feel as though they're right in the middle of the chaos. This technique is particularly effective during the car chases, where the camera's unsteady movements mirror the adrenaline-fueled tension of the scenes. These moments are visceral and pulse-pounding, pulling the audience into the high-stakes world of the film. In contrast, the quieter moments are framed with a sense of intimacy, allowing the character's emotions to take center stage. Close-up shots of O2's face capture the pain, determination, and vulnerability that drive his actions. The camera lingers on Carmen's expressions, revealing the layers of strength and empathy beneath her tough exterior. These choices create a sense of connection between the audience and the characters, making their struggles and triumphs feel deeply personal. Lighting plays a crucial role in shaping the film's atmosphere. The stark contrasts between light and shadow reflect the duality of the story, moments of hope punctuated by darkness and danger. The harsh, unfiltered sunlight of Los Angeles during the day creates an almost oppressive brightness, highlighting the gritty reality of the characters' lives. At night, the city takes on a different character, its streets illuminated by the cold, artificial glow of streetlights and neon signs. This shift in lighting mirrors the transition from the open chaos of the day to the hidden dangers of the night, adding depth to the film's visual language. Color is another key element in the film's visual storytelling. The palette is dominated by earthy tones, browns, grays, and muted blues, that reflect the grounded, unvarnished reality of the characters' lives. Splashes of brighter colors appear sparingly, often as symbols of hope or danger. A vibrant red car becomes a focal point in a chase scene, its bold color standing out against the muted backdrop and heightening the tension. Similarly, Carmen's wardrobe incorporates subtle pops of color, reflecting her layered personality and the spark of hope she brings to O2's journey. The film also makes effective use of sound design to enhance its atmosphere. The noise of the city, blaring car horns, distant sirens, and snippets of conversation, creates a sense of place that grounds the story in reality. These ambient sounds are carefully balanced with the score, a blend of hip-hop and atmospheric music that underscores the film's emotional beats. The soundtrack doesn't just accompany the action, it becomes a part of the storytelling, its rhythms and melodies echoing the struggles and triumphs of the characters. One of the most visually striking moments in the film is the climactic showdown, set against a desolate industrial backdrop. The stark, empty setting creates a sense of isolation, emphasizing the stakes of the confrontation. The cinematography in this scene is particularly impactful, with sweeping wide shots that capture the scale of the conflict and tight close-ups that highlight the intensity of the characters' emotions. The use of light and shadow adds to the drama, with the fading sunlight casting long shadows that mirror the looming sense of danger. It's a visually and emotionally charged sequence that serves as a culmination of the film's themes and visual style. The filmmaker's attention to detail extends beyond the major locations to the smaller, seemingly incidental settings. Each space, from the cluttered interiors of O2's hideouts to the bustling shops and streets he navigates, is carefully designed to reflect the world of the story. The props and set dressing add layers of authenticity, telling stories of their own about the lives of the characters. A worn-out couch, a stack of overdue bills, or a flickering streetlight, all of these elements contribute to the film's immersive atmosphere. In addition to its realistic settings, Waist Deep also incorporates moments of visual symbolism that deepen the story's impact. The recurring motif of water, for example, serves as a metaphor for both danger and renewal. From the title of the film to the moments where characters are literally or metaphorically in over their heads, water symbolizes the struggle to stay afloat in a world that constantly threatens to pull them under. This visual theme is subtle but powerful, adding an extra layer of meaning to the story. The film's visual and thematic elements come together to create a cohesive and impactful experience. The setting isn't just a backdrop, it's a reflection of the characters' struggles and a driving force in the story. The cinematography and visual language enhance the emotional resonance of the film, drawing the audience into the world of Waist Deep and making them feel every moment of its tension, triumph, and heartbreak. Ultimately, the setting and cinematic elements of Waist Deep are a testament to the filmmaker's commitment to storytelling. Every frame, every shot, and every location is chosen with care, creating a world that feels both specific to the characters and universally resonant. The result is a film that lingers in the mind long after the credits roll, its visuals and settings as unforgettable as the story they help to tell. The making of Waist Deep was as intense and exhilarating as the story it told on screen. Behind the polished action sequences and emotionally charged performances was a production filled with moments of camaraderie, creative problem-solving, and the occasional unexpected twist. The journey to bring this gritty, fast-paced thriller to life was anything but smooth, but it was those very challenges that made the experience unforgettable for everyone involved. From humorous mishaps on set to the genuine bonds formed among the cast and crew, the behind-the-scenes stories of Waist Deep are a testament to the collaborative spirit of filmmaking. One of the most surprising aspects of the production was the level of improvisation that went into certain scenes. While the film had a tight script, director Vondie encouraged the actors to bring their own ideas to the table, often allowing them to experiment with dialogue or blocking. This freedom allowed the cast to breathe life into their characters in ways that felt organic and true to the story. Tyrese Gibson, who played O2, was particularly skilled at this, often suggesting small adjustments to make a moment feel more authentic. In one instance, during an emotionally charged scene between O2 and Carmen, Meagan delivered an improvised line that resonated so strongly with the crew that it ended up in the final cut. This openness to collaboration created an environment where creativity flourished, elevating the film beyond what was written on the page. The dynamic between Tyrese and Meagan was a highlight of the production. The two actors developed a natural chemistry that not only enhanced their performances but also created a sense of ease and trust on set. Between takes, they could often be found joking around or running lines together, creating a supportive atmosphere that made even the most demanding scenes easier to tackle. One particularly amusing story involves an on-set prank that Tyrese orchestrated, convincing the crew to pretend that Meagan's car had been borrowed for a stunt sequence without her knowledge. The moment of panic quickly turned into laughter when the truth was revealed, and it became a running joke among the team for the rest of the shoot. Henry Hunter Hall, who played Junior, brought a youthful energy to the set that was both endearing and infectious. As one of the youngest members of the cast, Henry quickly became a favorite among the crew, who affectionately referred to him as Little Tyrese due to his similar intensity and focus. Despite his age, Henry approached his role with a level of maturity and dedication that impressed everyone. However, he also knew how to keep things light, often cracking jokes or challenging the crew to impromptu basketball games during breaks. In one memorable instance, he managed to sink a half-court shot on his first try, earning cheers and applause from the entire team. Of course, the production wasn't without its challenges. Shooting on location in Los Angeles meant dealing with the unpredictability of a bustling urban environment. While the decision to use real streets and neighborhoods added authenticity to the film, it also came with logistical hurdles. Coordinating car chases on busy roads required extensive planning and cooperation from local authorities, as well as a level of precision from the stunt team that left no room for error. During one particularly intense chase sequence, a minor miscommunication nearly resulted in a stunt car veering off course, but the quick reflexes of the driver and the attentiveness of the crew averted disaster. The incident served as a reminder of the risks involved in practical stunts, but it also reinforced the importance of teamwork and communication. Speaking of stunts, the car sequences in Waist Deep were among the most technically demanding aspects of the production. The filmmakers were determined to rely on practical effects rather than CGI, which meant coordinating real vehicles in high-speed scenarios. The stunt team worked tirelessly to choreograph these sequences, often rehearsing for hours to ensure every detail was perfect. Tyrese, known for his love of cars, was deeply involved in these scenes, even requesting to perform some of his own driving stunts. While the crew was initially hesitant, Tyrese's confidence and skill behind the wheel quickly won them over. In fact, during one rehearsal, Tyrese executed a sharp turn so flawlessly that the stunt coordinator jokingly offered him a spot on the team. Meagan also had her share of challenges during the shoot. Carmen's character required her to portray a mix of vulnerability and strength, often within the same scene. To prepare, Meagan spent time researching the realities faced by women in Carmen's position, drawing on their stories to inform her performance. On set, she was known for her ability to switch seamlessly between light-hearted banter and intense focus, a skill that earned her the respect of her co-stars and the crew. One particularly demanding scene involved Carmen navigating a dangerous situation while maintaining her composure. Despite the pressure, Meagan delivered a performance so compelling that the director called it lightning in a bottle. The bond among the cast wasn't limited to the leads. Larenz Tate, who played the enigmatic and dangerous The Man, brought his own brand of intensity to the set. Known for his meticulous approach to acting, Larenz often stayed in character between takes, adding an air of unpredictability to his interactions. While this commitment occasionally unsettled his co-stars, it also elevated their performances, as they were forced to match his energy. Despite his serious demeanor during filming, Larenz was known to crack a sly smile or share a quiet laugh with the crew, revealing a softer side that contrasted with his on-screen persona. Behind the camera, Vondie worked tirelessly to bring his vision to life. As both the director and a co-writer of the film, he was deeply involved in every aspect of the production. Vondie's approach was hands-on, often stepping in to adjust a shot or offer direction to an actor. His calm demeanor and clear vision earned him the trust of the cast and crew, who admired his ability to navigate the complexities of the shoot with grace. One of his key philosophies was to create a sense of community on set, fostering an environment where everyone felt valued and heard. This approach not only boosted morale but also inspired the team to give their all, even during the most grueling days. The crew's dedication extended beyond the main cast to the background actors and extras, who played a crucial role in bringing the world of Waist Deep to life. Many of these individuals were locals, adding an extra layer of authenticity to the film. Their presence enriched the setting, whether as bystanders during a chase scene or as patrons in a bustling neighborhood market. The interactions between the extras and the main cast often led to unexpected moments of realism that enhanced the film's texture. One of the lighter behind-the-scenes stories involves a day when a prop malfunctioned during a crucial scene. A car's hood was supposed to pop open dramatically during a chase sequence, but instead, it refused to budge. After several failed attempts, a crew member jokingly suggested negotiating with the car, prompting Tyrese to step in and playfully talk to the vehicle. Miraculously, the hood popped open on the next take, much to everyone's amusement. The moment became an inside joke among the crew, who credited Tyrese's car-whispering skills for saving the day. Despite the challenges, the production of Waist Deep was marked by a sense of resilience and determination. The cast and crew faced long hours, unpredictable weather, and the occasional technical hiccup, but they tackled each obstacle with a sense of humor and a shared commitment to the story they were telling. The bonds formed during the shoot endured long after the cameras stopped rolling, with many of the team members continuing to collaborate on future projects. In the end, the making of Waist Deep was as much about the journey as it was about the destination. The behind-the-scenes moments, both the triumphs and the setbacks, added depth and texture to the film, shaping it into the gripping, emotionally resonant story that audiences came to love. These insights into the production reveal the passion, creativity, and hard work that went into every frame, making Waist Deep not just a movie, but a testament to the art of filmmaking. The heart of Waist Deep is a story about survival, love, redemption, and the lengths one will go to protect family. Beneath the gritty action sequences and tension-filled plot lies a profound exploration of themes that resonate on a deeply emotional level. Each theme, subtly woven into the narrative, drives the characters' motivations and shapes their arcs. The film also uses powerful symbolism to underscore these themes, adding layers of meaning that enrich the story for viewers who look beyond the surface. At its core, Waist Deep is a tale of redemption. O2, played by Tyrese Gibson, is a man haunted by his past. A former convict, he's trying to rebuild his life, reconnect with his son, and stay on the right path. But the world around him is unforgiving, and his criminal record serves as a constant reminder of his mistakes. The film explores the idea that redemption isn't about erasing the past but about finding the strength to move forward despite it. O2's journey is one of reclaiming his humanity and proving, to himself and to his son, that he can rise above his circumstances. The bond between O2 and his son Junior is central to the film, anchoring its emotional weight. Fatherhood is a recurring theme, depicted as both a responsibility and a source of redemption. For O2, saving Junior isn't just about rescuing him from physical danger, it's about ensuring that his son doesn't inherit the same struggles and mistakes. This theme is explored with raw intensity, particularly in scenes where O2 grapples with the fear of failing as a father. The image of O2 shielding Junior during a pivotal moment in the film symbolizes his role as both protector and guide, embodying the lengths a parent will go to for their child. The theme of loyalty runs parallel to that of redemption. Throughout the film, O2's relationships are tested, particularly his burgeoning connection with Carmen, played by Meagan. Initially, Carmen's involvement is transactional. She's helping O2 for her own reasons. But as the story unfolds, her loyalty shifts from self-preservation to genuine care for O2 and Junior. Carmen's arc underscores the idea that loyalty isn't just about standing by someone, it's about believing in their potential for change. Her unwavering support becomes a catalyst for O2's redemption, showing him that he doesn't have to face his battles alone. Another prominent theme is the struggle for freedom, both literal and metaphorical. O2 is trapped, not only by the physical chains of his criminal past but also by the systemic forces that make it nearly impossible for him to escape that life. The world of Waist Deep is one where poverty, violence, and corruption create a vicious cycle, and the characters are constantly fighting to break free. This theme is embodied in the film's action sequences, where car chases and shootouts become metaphors for O2's desperate attempt to outrun the forces that threaten to pull him back down. The concept of trust also plays a significant role in the story. O2's journey forces him to confront his own trust issues, a result of betrayal and hardship. His hesitance to rely on others is evident in his initial interactions with Carmen, but as the plot progresses, he learns to let his guard down. Trust becomes a two-way street, with O2 and Carmen each taking risks for the other. This theme is mirrored in O2's relationship with his son, where trust is not only a foundation of their bond but also a source of hope for the future. Symbolism is woven throughout Waist Deep, enriching its themes and adding depth to the narrative. The title itself is a powerful symbol, evoking the idea of being submerged yet not entirely consumed. O2 is waist deep in the struggles of his life, torn between his past and his desire for a better future. The imagery suggests that while he's overwhelmed, he hasn't sunk completely. There's still a chance for him to rise above the chaos and find redemption. The recurring motif of water serves as a metaphor for cleansing and renewal. Early in the film, a scene involving water subtly hints at O2's need to wash away his past and start anew. This symbolism is reinforced in moments of reflection, where the characters are often framed near water, suggesting a connection to the idea of rebirth. The title and its implications resonate even in the climactic moments of the film, where O2's decisions ultimately determine whether he will sink or swim. The car, a central element in the story, carries symbolic weight as well. It represents freedom and control, two things that O2 desperately seeks. The car becomes a sanctuary for O2, Carmen, and Junior, a moving safe space where they can briefly escape the dangers that pursue them. At the same time, it symbolizes the constant motion of their lives, a reminder that they can never truly rest until they've escaped the forces threatening to destroy them. Guns and violence, while a staple of the action genre, are also used symbolically in Waist Deep. For O2, a gun isn't just a weapon. It's a tool of survival and a reminder of the world he's trying to leave behind. The film's careful framing of guns emphasizes their dual nature, as a means of protection and a source of destruction. This duality reflects the moral complexity of O2's choices, as he's forced to navigate a world where violence is often the only language understood. The setting of Los Angeles plays a significant role in reinforcing the film's themes. The urban landscape, with its bustling streets and gritty neighborhoods, serves as a backdrop for the characters' struggles. The city is portrayed as both a prison and a proving ground, a place where survival requires cunning, resilience, and a willingness to fight. The stark contrast between moments of chaos and fleeting glimpses of peace mirrors the internal conflict faced by O2 and Carmen, highlighting the tension between their circumstances and their aspirations. The symbolism of light and darkness is another subtle yet powerful element in the film. Shadows and dimly lit scenes often frame moments of danger or moral ambiguity, while bursts of light signal hope or clarity. In one particularly striking sequence, a ray of sunlight breaks through a window as O2 holds Junior, symbolizing a moment of hope amidst the turmoil. These visual cues enhance the emotional resonance of the story, drawing the audience deeper into the characters' experiences. The film's themes and symbolism are deeply intertwined with its plot and characters, creating a cohesive narrative that resonates on multiple levels. O2's journey is not just a physical one. It's an emotional and spiritual odyssey, marked by moments of despair, resilience, and triumph. The themes of redemption, loyalty, and freedom are brought to life through his actions and relationships, making his struggle deeply relatable despite the extraordinary circumstances. Carmen's character arc also embodies these themes, particularly the idea of transformation. Her initial cynicism and self-interest give way to a newfound sense of purpose, driven by her connection to O2 and Junior. Carmen's evolution mirrors O2's, reinforcing the film's message that change is possible even in the face of overwhelming odds. Junior, though young, serves as a symbolic representation of hope and the future. His presence motivates O2 and Carmen to push beyond their limits, reminding them of what's at stake. Junior's innocence contrasts sharply with the violence and corruption around him, making his safety and happiness all the more poignant. Through Junior, the film explores the idea that the next generation carries the potential for a better tomorrow, even if the path to get there is fraught with challenges. In the end, Waist Deep is a story that transcends its action thriller roots, offering a deeply human exploration of themes that resonate universally. Its symbolism adds layers of meaning, inviting viewers to reflect on the choices we make, the bonds we form, and the sacrifices we're willing to endure for those we love. The film's ability to weave these elements into a gripping narrative is a testament to its power, leaving a lasting impression on audiences long after the credits roll. Waist Deep, 2006, was more than just an action-packed thriller. It was a bold exploration of urban life, survival, and human connection, crafted with a keen understanding of the technical aspects of filmmaking. From the very first frame to the final shot, the film's use of innovative techniques, coupled with meticulous attention to sound design, editing, and camera work, enhanced its visceral, fast-paced energy while simultaneously allowing the emotional stakes to resonate deeply with audiences. The result was a film that wasn't just watched but felt, a movie that pulled viewers into its world through a combination of striking visuals, immersive soundscapes, and an overall atmosphere that kept them on the edge of their seats. Filmmaking techniques in Waist Deep were not just there to showcase the high-speed action, but to immerse the audience in the complex emotional journey of the characters. At the heart of this is the use of cinematography, where every shot felt meticulously planned and executed to capture both the intensity of the narrative and the raw emotions of the characters. Director Vondie Hall, a seasoned director known for his ability to balance intimate character moments with large-scale action sequences, employed a variety of filmmaking techniques that contributed to the atmosphere of the film. He utilized tight framing to convey the confinement the characters felt, both physically in the urban environment and emotionally in their lives. By focusing on the protagonists in close-ups, the film emphasized the personal stakes of their actions and the isolation they felt, even when surrounded by chaos. The tight framing allowed the audience to feel the pressure mounting on O2, played by Tyrese Gibson, Carmen, Meagan Good, and Jr., Henry Hunter Hall, highlighting their vulnerability and the weight of their decisions. The tight close-ups were juxtaposed with wide shots during high-stakes action sequences, where the film transitioned from intimate emotional moments to explosive chases, shootouts, and confrontations. These wide shots allowed the filmmakers to show the raw energy and unpredictability of the urban landscape, which played as much a role in the story as the characters themselves. The gritty streets, crumbling buildings, and claustrophobic alleyways seemed to close in on the characters, underscoring their struggle for freedom and survival in an unforgiving environment. This contrast between close-up shots and wide shots was one of the key techniques that helped shape the film's atmosphere. It underscored the emotional vulnerability of the characters while also reflecting the danger and chaos of the world around them. A hallmark of the film's filmmaking style was the kinetic, almost frantic energy of its action sequences. To capture the raw intensity of these moments, the filmmakers made use of quick cuts, dynamic camera movements, and practical effects. The camera rarely remained static. It followed the characters as they sprinted through the streets, dove into action, and navigated perilous situations. This sense of constant motion was meant to immerse the audience in the characters' high-stakes lives and create an immediate sense of urgency. The audience felt as though they were running alongside O2, Carmen, and Jr., caught up in the adrenaline rush of the chase or the tension of a dangerous encounter. The swift camera movements also brought a sense of unpredictability to the action, enhancing the excitement and reinforcing the film's sense of danger. The use of handheld cameras added to this intensity, particularly in the film's most chaotic moments. The shaky, unsteady camera movements gave viewers the sense of being in the midst of the action, creating an immersive, first-person perspective. This technique was especially effective during the car chase sequences, where the camera was placed inside the vehicles, bouncing with every turn and swerve, amplifying the feeling of being right there in the heart of the action. These choices in camera work not only enhanced the visual experience but also helped elevate the emotional stakes of each scene. Equally important to the atmosphere of Waist Deep was its sound design. Sound played a critical role in shaping the film's mood, heightening its tension, and grounding the viewer in its world. The use of sound ranged from the heavy thumping of bass during car chases to the quiet moments where the silence would intensify the emotional weight of a scene. Every sound felt carefully selected to complement the action on screen, whether it was the roar of a car engine or the subtle scrape of a shoe on pavement. The film's soundtrack was also a key component of its soundscape. The music ranged from high-energy rap and hip-hop tracks to more subdued, haunting melodies, and each piece was carefully chosen to reflect the film's themes of survival, loyalty, and redemption. The energetic beats punctuated the fast-paced action scenes, while the quieter, more somber pieces underscored the moments of reflection and emotional turmoil experienced by the characters. Music not only set the tone but also helped to guide the emotional trajectory of the film, letting the audience know when to lean into the suspense or when to feel the weight of the characters' decisions. The editing style of Waist Deep was designed to maintain the rapid pace of the film, keeping viewers engaged and on edge. The film's editor, Scott Conrad, utilized fast cuts to keep the energy up during action sequences, creating a sense of urgency that mirrored the characters' struggle. These quick cuts helped convey the unpredictability of the world the characters inhabited, where danger could strike at any moment, and time was always running out. The editing kept viewers on their toes, amplifying the sense of tension throughout the film. However, the editing was also more subtle in its quieter, more intimate moments. During scenes where the characters were grappling with emotional decisions or experiencing moments of introspection, the editing slowed down to allow the actors' performances to breathe. This deliberate pacing created a balance between the film's action-oriented sequences and its emotional undercurrent. It allowed for moments of vulnerability and reflection, allowing the audience to connect with the characters on a deeper level. This balance between fast-paced editing and slower, more thoughtful moments was integral to the film's emotional resonance. One of the standout techniques in the film was the use of lighting. The cinematography team employed stark contrasts between light and shadow to reflect the duality of the characters' lives. The harsh neon lights of the city's streets, casting long shadows, mirrored the characters' inner conflict, caught between the light of redemption and the darkness of their pasts. In contrast, the softer lighting used in certain personal scenes, particularly between O2 and Junior, highlighted the tenderness and humanity that persisted amidst the chaos. This interplay of light and shadow not only shaped the visual aesthetic of the film but also reinforced its themes of survival, danger, and the search for hope. A key element that contributed to the film's atmospheric success was the careful coordination of practical effects. The filmmakers opted to use real cars, real locations, and practical stunts to enhance the realism of the story. This decision paid off, as the action scenes felt grounded and visceral. Whether it was a high-speed chase through the streets of Los Angeles or a gunfight in a gritty alley, the practical effects brought a sense of authenticity to the film, making each moment feel immediate and tangible. The use of real vehicles in the car chases, as opposed to relying on CGI, allowed for a more immersive experience that made the action feel raw and visceral. The film's decision to shoot on location in Los Angeles also played a significant role in shaping its atmosphere. The urban landscape became more than just a backdrop, it was an integral part of the story. The filmmakers took advantage of the city's diverse locations, from the busy streets to the desolate industrial areas, to reflect the characters' journey. The setting of Los Angeles, with its contrasting elements of wealth and poverty, opportunity and danger, became a metaphor for the characters' own struggles. The film made excellent use of the city's gritty realism, allowing the environment to reflect the tension and complexity of the characters' emotional and physical journeys. The box office performance of Waist Deep was a testament to its successful blending of technical mastery and storytelling. Released in 2006, the film managed to make a significant impact at the box office, grossing over $20 million in its domestic run. While not a blockbuster hit, the film's performance was strong enough to signal that it resonated with audiences who were drawn to its combination of action, drama, and relatable themes. The film's ability to attract viewers was partly due to its distinct identity, an action thriller that focused not just on explosive set pieces but also on deep, human connections and the struggles of everyday people. Waist Deep was a film that relied heavily on its technical execution to tell a story that was both thrilling and deeply emotional. The filmmaking techniques, from cinematography to sound design, editing, and the use of practical effects, were all carefully designed to create an immersive, engaging experience for the audience. The result was a film that didn't just entertain but also resonated on a deeper level, leaving an impression long after the credits rolled. Its box office success reflected its ability to strike a chord with audiences, balancing fast-paced action with emotional depth in a way that few films manage to do. Waist Deep, 2006, stands as a testament to the ability of a well-chosen cast to elevate a thrilling, action-packed story into a nuanced, emotional exploration of survival, family, and redemption. The movie's cast, both established stars and fresh faces, brought depth and relatability to their characters, making the stakes feel incredibly real. Behind every intense scene and emotional beat were actors who brought their own life experiences, dedication, and authenticity to their roles. Interviews and behind-the-scenes anecdotes further illustrate the passion and effort that went into creating the film. And as the movie made its way to audiences, their reviews highlighted the unique combination of action, emotion, and character-driven drama that made the film stand out. At the forefront of Waist Deep is Tyrese Gibson, an actor known for his roles in the Fast and the Furious franchise and Transformers. Gibson plays O2, the film's complex protagonist, a former convict-turned-loving father who is desperately trying to escape his violent past. Gibson's portrayal of O2 is one of the film's emotional anchors, and his performance elevates the story from a straightforward action thriller to a deeper exploration of redemption and personal growth. In interviews, Gibson spoke about the challenge of bringing O2 to life, an inherently flawed man who is caught between his desire to protect his son and the weight of his criminal past. Gibson described O2 as a character who feels trapped by his circumstances, and he was determined to portray the character's internal struggle with honesty and depth. Gibson's commitment to the role is evident in his intense physical transformation and emotional depth throughout the film. For him, playing O2 was about more than just action and tough guy bravado. It was about showing the vulnerability of a man who, despite his past, is trying to be a good father. He emphasized that the film's focus on family and redemption was central to his approach to the character. For Gibson, it was important to show that O2's motivations came from a place of love, and his journey to do right by his son was one that would resonate with audiences on a universal level. Opposite Gibson is Meagan, who plays Carmen, a woman entangled in a dangerous world of crime and survival. Carmen's character evolves throughout the film, and Good brings a layer of vulnerability and strength to the role. Initially, Carmen seems like an accessory to the action, a woman caught in the chaos who is just trying to survive. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Carmen is much more than a plot device. Good spoke in interviews about how she wanted to portray Carmen as someone who was more than just a love interest. She saw Carmen as a woman with her own agency, someone who, like O2, was trying to escape the trappings of her past and make a better life for herself. Good's ability to balance strength and vulnerability in the role gave Carmen an emotional depth that kept her from becoming a one-dimensional character. For Good, playing Carmen was an opportunity to portray a character who had to make difficult choices, yet always acted out of a sense of self-preservation and love. She emphasized the importance of showing the emotional complexity of Carmen's arc, especially in her growing relationship with O2. The chemistry between Gibson and Good was palpable, making their partnership on screen feel both authentic and emotionally charged. Their dynamic added an extra layer to the film, ensuring that the action-packed sequences were grounded in real, relatable emotion. The film also features a strong supporting cast, each of whom contributes to the story's thematic richness and emotional depth. One standout performance comes from actor Larenz Tate, who plays the ruthless villain, Biggs. Tate's portrayal of Biggs is chillingly charismatic, a man whose cold and calculated nature contrasts sharply with the vulnerability of the film's protagonists. In interviews, Tate discussed how he approached Biggs not as a typical villain but as someone who was driven by his own desires and motivations. He explained that Biggs sees himself as being justified in his actions, and this mindset made him an even more formidable antagonist. Tate's performance adds a layer of unpredictability to the film, and his scenes opposite Gibson create a tense dynamic that keeps audiences engaged throughout. Waist Deep also features a number of talented supporting players, including actors such as Henry Hunter Hall, who plays Junior, O2's young son. Hall's portrayal of Junior is one of the film's emotional anchors, and his scenes with Gibson are among the most heart-wrenching. The bond between father and son is central to the movie, and Hall's natural chemistry with Gibson helped make their relationship feel genuine and emotionally charged. In interviews, Hall spoke about how he related to his character's love for his father and how important it was to him to portray the innocence and hope that Junior represents. He noted that Junior's optimism stood in stark contrast to the harsh realities of the world around him, making him an essential character who symbolizes the possibility of a better future. As the film progressed, the themes of survival, family, and redemption became even more pronounced, and the cast's performances took on greater emotional weight. The actors worked tirelessly to bring the story to life, often performing their own stunts and action sequences to ensure a sense of authenticity. Their dedication to the roles added depth to the characters and elevated the film beyond a typical action movie. The behind-the-scenes stories from the cast and crew further illustrate the effort that went into making Waist Deep. The film's production was a grueling but rewarding process, with the team working long hours to capture the gritty realism of the film's setting and action. In interviews, the filmmakers spoke about the challenges they faced while shooting in the streets of Los Angeles, often navigating unpredictable weather, traffic, and the inherent dangers of filming in such a high-energy environment. Despite the obstacles, the cast and crew were united in their commitment to telling a story that was both thrilling and emotionally resonant. One particularly memorable aspect of the production was the film's use of practical effects. Many of the car chases and action sequences were shot using real vehicles and practical stunts, adding an extra level of intensity and realism to the film. The actors and stunt coordinators worked closely together to ensure that the sequences felt grounded and believable. Gibson, in particular, was heavily involved in the stunts, performing many of his own action scenes to make the film as authentic as possible. In interviews, Gibson expressed how important it was for him to be physically invested in the action, as it allowed him to fully immerse himself in the character's journey. Audience reviews of Waist Deep reflected the success of the film's combination of intense action, emotional depth, and character-driven storytelling. Critics and viewers alike praised the film for its ability to balance the adrenaline-pumping moments with quiet, introspective scenes that explored the character's inner conflicts. Many reviews noted the strong performances of the lead actors, particularly Gibson, who was commended for his portrayal of O2 as a man trying to atone for his past while protecting his son. Gibson's portrayal was lauded for being emotionally raw and deeply human, adding a level of authenticity to a genre that often focuses on spectacle over substance. Audience reviews also highlighted the film's unexpected emotional depth. While many came expecting a fast-paced action movie, they were pleasantly surprised by the heartfelt moments that grounded the story. The father-son relationship between O2 and Junior was consistently singled out as one of the most powerful aspects of the film. Viewers appreciated how the movie avoided cliché tropes in favor of a more nuanced exploration of family dynamics and redemption. The emotional moments, combined with the high-stakes action, created a well-rounded viewing experience that appealed to a broad audience. One common thread in reviews was the film's ability to make viewers care about the characters' fates. Many audiences found themselves invested in O2's journey, rooting for him to overcome his troubled past and find a way to provide a better life for his son. This emotional connection was often cited as the film's greatest strength, and it helped Waist Deep stand out from other action thrillers of its time. While the film received praise for its performances and emotional weight, some critics were less enthusiastic about the movie's pacing and its reliance on genre conventions. One particularly memorable aspect of the production was the film's use of practical effects. Many of the car chases and action sequences were shot using real vehicles and practical stunts, adding an extra level of intensity and realism to the film. The actors and stunt coordinators worked closely together to ensure that the sequences felt grounded and believable. Gibson, in particular, was heavily involved in the stunts, performing many of his own action scenes to make the film as authentic as possible. In interviews, Gibson expressed how important it was for him to be physically invested in the action, as it allowed him to fully immerse himself in the character's journey. Audience reviews of Waist Deep reflected the success of the film's combination of intense action, emotional depth, and character-driven storytelling. Critics and viewers alike praised the film for its ability to balance the adrenaline-pumping moments with quiet, introspective scenes that explored the character's inner conflicts. Many reviews noted the strong performances of the lead actors, particularly Gibson, who was commended for his portrayal of O2 as a man trying to atone for his past while protecting his son. Gibson's portrayal was lauded for being emotionally raw and deeply human, adding a level of authenticity to a genre that often focuses on spectacle over substance. Audience reviews also highlighted the film's unexpected emotional depth. While many came expecting a fast-paced action movie, they were pleasantly surprised by the heartfelt moments that grounded the story. The father-son relationship between O2 and Junior was consistently singled out as one of the most powerful aspects of the film. Viewers appreciated how the movie avoided cliché tropes in favor of a more nuanced exploration of family dynamics and redemption. The emotional moments, combined with the high-stakes action, created a well-rounded viewing experience that appealed to a broad audience. One common thread in reviews was the film's ability to make viewers care about the characters' fates. Many audiences found themselves invested in O2's journey, rooting for him to overcome his troubled past and find a way to provide a better life for his son. This emotional connection was often cited as the film's greatest strength, and it helped Waist Deep stand out from other action thrillers of its time. While the film received praise for its performances and emotional weight, some critics were less enthusiastic about the movie's pacing and its reliance on genre conventions. A few reviews noted that certain plot points were predictable, and some found the character of Biggs to be one-dimensional. However, these critiques were often balanced by recognition of the film's heart and the strong performances that carried the narrative. Ultimately, Waist Deep achieved its goal of being more than just a typical action movie. It left a lasting impression on both audiences and critics, earning a reputation as a film that could deliver both thrilling set pieces and emotionally impactful moments. The cast's performances were central to this success, with each actor bringing depth and authenticity to their respective roles. The behind-the-scenes stories and interviews revealed the immense effort and dedication of the cast and crew, further solidifying Waist Deep as a film that resonated not just with viewers but with everyone who worked to bring it to life. As we reach the end of our deep dive into Waist Deep, 2006, it's clear that this film is far more than just an action thriller. It's a movie that blends fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping sequences with heartfelt emotional moments, creating a story that resonates deeply with audiences. Directed by Vondie and driven by a talented cast, including Tyrese Gibson and Meagan, Waist Deep balances the intense drama of the streets with the vulnerability of its characters, resulting in a film that sticks with you long after the credits roll. Throughout this analysis, we've explored the various layers of Waist Deep, from its pulse-pounding action scenes to its exploration of themes like survival, redemption, and the unbreakable bond between a father and son. We've seen how the film's cinematography and sound design contribute to the atmosphere, using tight framing, rapid editing, and immersive soundscapes to heighten tension and connect the audience with the characters' inner lives. The performances from the cast, particularly Gibson and brought depth and authenticity to their roles, grounding the action in raw emotion that made the stakes feel real and personal. We've also taken a closer look at the film's production, from its behind-the-scenes stories to the challenges the cast and crew faced while bringing this story to life. The practical effects, real locations, and hands-on stunts added an element of realism that made the action feel grounded and believable, while the music and sound choices helped set the tone and mood of the film. The result was a movie that not only entertained but also resonated with viewers on a deeper level, showing that it's possible to create a thrilling action film with heart and substance. The critical reception of Waist Deep highlighted its ability to balance both thrilling spectacle and emotional weight, with many praising the performances, particularly from Tyrese Gibson, and the film's unexpected depth. The father-son relationship at the film's core became a key emotional anchor, and viewers found themselves invested in the character's journey of redemption and survival. While some critics pointed out predictable moments or the one-dimensional nature of the villain, Biggs, the film's emotional core and strong performances were widely appreciated, allowing it to carve out a niche as a unique action film with heart. So, what makes Waist Deep stand out? It's the way the filmmakers fused the gritty realities of the streets with the powerful emotions that drive the characters. The film asks hard questions about loyalty, survival, and the lengths we'll go to protect the ones we love. O2's journey is one of sacrifice, redemption, and the pursuit of a better life for his son, and it's one that resonates with anyone who's ever fought to overcome their past. It's a story about second chances, about a man who is desperately trying to do right by his son, even when the world seems to be stacked against him.